Now, a quick revision from Chapter 2. First heading, earlier attempts for classification. The name of the scientist who is responsible or who is giving the scientific basis for the classification, Arastu. Okay? And he classified or he used the simple morphological characters, means the external characters he used to classify the plants into trees, shrubs, and herbs. And he divided the animals into two groups, one with red blood cells and other with on animals without red blood cells. Okay. Second name of scientist, Linnaeus, and he gave the two kingdom system of classification, according to which the complete system of the classification into two heads. First is Plantae and the second one is Animalia. Okay. Now come to the next topic, five kingdom classification, and it was given by R.H. Whittaker in 1969, and he divided the complete classification. He gave the classification into five important heads. First is Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Okay, and the basis of the classification used by the five kingdom classification by R.H. Whittaker on the basis of the mode of nutrition, the reproduction, phylogenetic relationships. What do you mean by the phylogenetic relationships? The relationship on the basis of the evolutionary background. Okay. Now come to the next slide. Kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera, what it includes? Actually, students, it includes the bacteria. Okay. The bacteria comes under the head Kingdom Monera, and the bacteria are live in all type of the habitats, means they are able to survive everywhere, even in the hot springs, in the deserts, in the snow, as well as in the deep oceans, or they live as the parasites or as an organisms. Okay, mean to say that they are able to survive under any kind of the hard conditions or the harsh conditions. Okay, we know that the bacteria structure is very simple and they are very complex in behavior. When you are listening, when you are seeing the normal structure of the bacteria, then their body structure is very simple, but their behavior is very complex. Okay, very important thing is that the bacteria are autotrophic, mean to say they are able to produce their own food with the help of the inorganic substrates. Okay, they may be photosynthetic autotrophic, they may be chemosynthetic autotrophic. Autotrophic means, auto means self, trophic to produce, self producing, self production of the food in the presence of the sunlight or in the presence of the chemical inorganic constituents. Okay, the majority of the bacteria, students, we know that the majority of the bacteria are heterotrophs. They are not able to synthesize their own food, and for the sake of the food they are dependent on other ones. Okay, that's why they are called as heterotrophic bacteria. Next is the classification of bacteria according to their shapes. We divided the bacteria on the basis of the shape. First is the spherical bacteria, example Coccus. Second one is the rod-shaped bacteria, example Bacillus. Comma shape, example Vibrium. Spiral shape, example Spirillum. Okay, next is when the bacteria classified into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. What are archaebacteria? Actually, archaebacteria means primitive type of bacteria. Okay, primitive type of bacteria means very simple type of body organization. These bacteria can live in most of the harsh conditions, students, very extreme conditions. For example, one is extreme salty areas. When they are present in extreme salty areas, known as halophiles. Hot springs, called as the thermoacidophiles. In the marshy areas, known as the methanogens. Archaebacteria, we know that how they survive under such kind of the condition. For that, the cell wall structure plays a very important role behind it. Okay, this feature is responsible for their survival in the extreme conditions. Okay, next condition is, or the next criteria is methanogens. Students, methanogens means, for example, they are present in the gut of the, gut means the alimentary canal of the ruminants. Ruminants means the animals which do the jugali, belongs to this category are the cattle. एनिमल्स, ओके, जो लगातार लेजर टाइम पे अपना मुंह चबाते रहते हैं, दे आर कॉल्ड एज द ruminants one and the jugali animals, okay, ruminants, okay. Then such as the cows, buffaloes, and they are responsible for the production of which gas? They are responsible for the production of the methane gas, okay, from the dung of these animals. What is you mean by the dung? Dung means what, students? Dung means the cattle excreta is called as dung, okay. Next is eubacteria. We know that eu means true bacteria, true bacteria, bacteria with true type of the structure. It means the basic things which are really required for any organisms to sit like that. Yes, this is bacteria, yes, this is that. It means they are performing or they are obeying all the characters behind it, okay. First is they are characterized by the presence of rigid cell wall, and if motile, the flagellum is present. First is cyanobacteria, also called as the blue-green algae. They have the chlorophyll A molecule similar to the green plants and are photosynthetic because they are having the chlorophyll molecule within it. That's why they are autotrophic in nature. Okay, the cyanobacteria are unicellular. What is the body organization? What type of the body organization of the cyanobacteria is there? First is they are unicellular, means the body is made up of only single cell. They may be live in the colony or they having the filamentous body or terrestrial algae. The colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. Gelatinous sheath means the whole colony is covered by a jelly-like sheath-like structure. Okay. They often forms the blooms in the polluted water bodies. Blooms means bulbulae type of structures. They performed by the cyanobacteria. Okay. Second category is nitrogen fixing bacteria. There are some type of the bacteria which are having the capacity to convert the atmospheric nitrogen available to the plant. Okay. For that they are having some specialized type of the cells known as the heterocysts. Example, Nostoc, Anabina, etc. Okay. Heterocysts provide anaerobic condition required for the nitrogen fixation. Actually, for the fixation of the nitrogen, the bacteria needed anaerobic type of the condition. Okay. For that, the anaerobic type of condition is created in the heterocyst. Okay. Come to the next. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria. They oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites, ammonia, and use the released energy for the ATP production. Okay, they play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Recycling of the nutrients takes place. Okay, first they are locked in for the formation of any kind of the plant body or any kind of the animal body. Then after the death of the plant and the animals, the nutrients delocked into the soil. Okay, again they are available and again taken up by the plants for the formation of the new food molecule. Come to the next. Heading is heterotrophic bacteria. Students, these are the very important type of the decomposers. Some help in making curd from milk production of the antibiotics, fixing nitrogen in the leguminous plant. The question arises, what are legumes? Legume means the plants belonging to pulses family, butter family. They all are called as leguminaceae. Belongs to which family? Leguminaceae. Okay, the most important characteristic of these plants is that in the roots they have some nodule like structure. कुछ गांठें present होती हैं, called as the nodules. Okay, and inside that nodule the bacteria reside and it converts the atmospheric nitrogen into the available nitrate and nitrites form. Okay. Next is some are pathogenic. Again the question arises, what are pathogenic? Pathogenic means disease causing agents. They cause damage to the human beings, crops, animals, and pets. Okay. Next is cholera. These are the different type of the diseases caused by the heterotrophic bacteria. For example, the cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus canker. These all are the well-known diseases caused by different kind of the bacteria. Next heading is reproduction in bacteria. They reproduces mainly by fission. Fission, that is to break. Sometimes under unfavorable condition, they produce spores. What they produce? They produce spores under unfavorable conditions, because under unfavorable condition, bacteria are not able to reproduce by the fission. During that time, the complete protoplasm converted into the spore, and as soon as the favorable conditions come back, the cyst which surrounding that spore break down, and that spore germinate to form the new bacteria. Okay, they also reproduce by the sort of the sexual reproduction. Actually, students, in case of the bacteria, this sexual reproduction is very primitive type, in which the two bacteria come close to each other. Okay, they both of them come close to very each other, and form a tube between them known as the conjugation tube. Okay, next slide. Mycoplasmas. These organisms completely lack a cell wall, and they are the smallest living cells known and can survive without oxygen. They can survive without oxygen. Okay. Come to the next slide. The kingdom Protista. What are the most important characteristics behind it? We know that a single-celled eukaryotes are placed under the kingdom Protista. The being eukaryote, the protestant cell body contains a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Some have flagella and cilia. The question arises: what is flagella? What is cilia? Actually, these are the locomotory organs which are required for what? For the locomotion, for the movement. Okay. Then next is Protista reproduce asexually, sexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. Which type of the reproduction method they adopted? They adopted asexual type of reproduction medium, in which only the one body is responsible for the production of the new young ones, and the second one is the sexual reproduction. Come to the next. First is classification of the kingdom Protista. First heading is chrysophytes, and they are also called as the diatoms, and it includes the diatoms, golden algae or the desmids. Where they are found? They are found in fresh water as well as in the marine water. Okay, very important thing behind it: the chrysophytes not able to move by their own. For their movement, they need some passive currents, either in the form of the water or in the form of the wind. Okay, next thing is that most of them are photosynthetic. Photosynthetic means they all are able to produce their own food. In case of the diatom, students, very important thing is that the cell wall is made up of the two overlapping shells, just as like in case of the soap case. Okay, in case of the soap case, we have the two lids. Likewise, in case of chrysophytes, they have double layered cell walls, okay, which are fitted in such a way that it looks like appearance of the soap case. And the very important thing is that the cell wall is indestructible. Why it is indestructible? Indestructible means not able to, not broken down. Okay, for that they have silica inside it. Actually, because of this silica, the diatom cell wall is indestructible in nature. And we know that when the diatoms died, the cell wall deposited under the earth, and it deposited like a diatomaceous earth, called as a diatomaceous earth. Okay, very important question for your examination purpose. Okay, why the cell wall of the diatoms is indestructible? Question like comes like this for in the form of the reasoning. And the next question is, what do you mean by the term diatomaceous earth? Okay, next is, what is the economic importance, how they are important to us? Actually, the cell wall is gritty in nature because of the silica present in it, so it may be used in the case of the polishing, in case of the filtration of the oils and syrups. Okay, next is, they are the chief producers in the oceans. Very, very important thing, students. They are the chief producers of oceans. Okay, next is dinoflagellates. Students, dinoflagellates means they are mostly marine and photosynthetic. What is the nature of these? They are photosynthetic, means able to produce their own food. What is the color behind it? Which type of the colors dinoflagellates having? They may be yellow color, they may be green color, they may be brown, they may be blue, they may be red, and this all total on the basis of the pigments present in them. Okay, if suppose the chlorophyll is present, it means they are green in color. Suppose that any other type of the pigments present in it, according to that the color is imposed to the body. Okay, next is, the cell wall has stiff cellulose plates. Again, the very important thing, in case of the dinoflagellates, the cellulose plates are present on the outer surface. Okay, most of them have two flagella. Flagella for what? I discussed you what is the function of the flagella. The function of the flagella and the cilia is for locomotion, and we know that cilia are smaller in number, smaller in size, whereas the flagella are larger in size, less in number, whereas the cilia are smaller in size but large in number, and the purpose of both of these are the for locomotion. Okay, how many number of the flagella are present in case of the dinoflagellates? They have the two number of the flagella. One is longitudinally placed and the second one is transversely placed in the furrow. Furrow means cavity. Okay, students, cavity. Next is red dinoflagellates. This question is very important for your examination. Red dinoflagellate example is Goniolix. Actually, why the sea appears red? Actually, this is because of the rapid multiplication of the Goniolix. Okay, as they divide, the complete sea look like the red color. That's why called as the red tides. And the question is example Goniolix. Okay, and they also produce some toxins which are poisonous for the other aquatic animals, because they secrete the toxins in the nearby areas, and the marine animals, they die because of this toxins. Okay, next is euglenoids. Okay, students, come to the next topic, euglenoids. Actually, most of them are freshwater organisms, very important, and they live in stagnant water. Stagnant means ruka hua pani, called as the stagnant water. Instead of having the cell wall, they have, students, very rich important layer. This is very important for your NEET examination and even for your school examination. In case of the euglenoids, they have protein rich layer is present, called as the pellicle. Okay, which makes the body flexible. Okay, they are having the two flagella. One is the short and the other one is long. Though they are photosynthetic, because in the presence of the very important and the very interesting feature of the euglena is that if the sunlight is present, they able to generate, or they able to produce their own food. That it means in the presence of the sunlight, they are autotrophic in nature, and when the sunlight is absent, they are heterotrophic in nature. Okay, the point is very important. Though they are photosynthetic, in the presence of sunlight, deprived of sunlight, they behave like the heterotrophs by predating on some other smaller organisms. Therefore, they are known as a collecting link. Very important, students. They are the connecting link between the plant and animals. Okay. The pigments of the euglenoid are identical to those present in the higher plants. Example is euglena. Okay. Next is slime molds. Slime molds, they are saprophytic protist. Saprophytic means, students, not able to produce their own fruit. They are type of heterotrophic organism dependent on dead and decaying organic matter. The body moves over along the decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing organic material. Engulf का मतलब खा जाना. Okay, while moving, they digest the decaying twigs and the leaves, and the substances which comes out from it, they engulf that material. Okay, under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation means a collection. Okay, they aggregate with each other and called as the plasmodium, which may grow and spread over several feet. Okay, during unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiates and form fruiting bodies. This is very important, students, please pay attention. Fruiting bodies means kind of sporangia, kind of ball-like structures responsible for the production of the spores. Okay, fruiting bodies bearing spores at their tips. The spores possess true walls. They are extremely resistant and survive for many years even under adverse condition. Once the spores are formed, they may survive up to the several years because they are resistant. Okay, the spores, and these spores are spreaded to different areas with the help of air currents. Okay, now this topic is very important, the protozoans. Only from this topic we get maximum times you students get the question in your examination, the classification of the protozoa. So please put very important mark over it. Okay, protozoans. First is their classification into the four major groups. One is amoeboid. Example is amoeba, Entamoeba histolytica. Okay. Second is flagellated protozoans. Example is Trypanosoma. Third one is ciliated protozoans having the cilia over it for the locomotion. Example is Paramecium. Last one is the sporozoans. Example is Plasmodium. Okay. Come to the next heading, kingdom fungi. Kingdom fungi, actually students, the organisms which belong to kingdom fungi, they are heterotrophic in nature. Heterotrophic means they are not able to produce their own food. For the sake of the food, they are dependent on the dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, fungi are cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan means, students, they are present everywhere. Present everywhere. Okay, cosmopolitan means they are present even in the air, in the water, in the soil, and on animals and plants. Okay, next is the structure. Structure of the fungi. Which type of structure of the fungi is there? Fungi are, they are filamentous, and the very important exception is that, example, yeast, which is unicellular. Okay, their bodies consist of long cylinder thread like structure called hyphae. Actually, the complete colony of the fungi called as the mycelium, and each branch is called as the hyphae, and some branches get modified into the spore bearing or the sporangia bearing hyphae, and according to the sporangia which are present over it, or the spores bearing fruiting body which is present over it, the names given to them. Okay, suppose the conidia, which is a chain like conidia, if is present over the hyphae, it is called as the conidiophores. And suppose the sporangia is present as a fruiting body, then called as the sporangiophore. So different names allotted to them. Okay, next is, some hyphae are continuous tubes filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. Again, this is very important. Multinucleated means inside the hyphae, when you cut the suction of that, you get a cytoplasm within it, and within the cytoplasm many nuclei are present in it. Okay, and this type of structure is called as the cenocytic structure, because the septa is not present. Suppose you have one big hall and it is not divided into compartments, and when you are dividing into the compartments, then means the compartment means the septa is present, and when the complete single hall is there without any compartments, then it is called as aseptate. Okay, next is, some hyphae are continuous tubes filled with a multinucleated cytoplasm. These are called cenocytic hyphae. Others have septate or cross walls in their hyphae. The cell wall, what is the composition of the cell wall of the fungi? It is composed of the chitin and polysaccharides. What about the nutrition? They are saprophytes, not able to produce their own food. So for the sake of the food, they are dependent on other dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, those who living on depend on the living plants and animals called as the parasites. And when the fungi lives in association of other living organism, for example with algae, then it is called as a relationship called as lichens. Symbionts means living together two living organisms. Sym means साथ में, bionts means living organisms. Okay, next is reproduction. Reproduction means how they increase their progeny. First is the vegetative type of the reproduction. It includes the fragmentation, fission and budding. Okay, next is asexual type of reproduction. Actually, students, asexual type of reproduction with the help of the conidia or with the help of the sporangiospores or zoospores. Okay, third is a very important, the sexual type of reproduction. Please learn these terms. First is asexual through by which type of the spores? Conidia, sporangiospores and zoospores. Okay, and the second question, sexual reproduction by oospores, ascospores and basidiospores. Okay, next is the sexual cycle involves the three important steps. First is the plasmogamy, second is the karyogamy, and the third one is the meiosis. Students, plasmogamy means the fusion of the protoplasm of the two different hyphae of the two mycelium or even within the single mycelium. Okay, karyogamy means the fusion of the two nuclei. What about the meiosis? In zygote resulting in haploid spores. We know that meiosis is a kind of reduction division for the formation of haploid spores. When a fungus reproduces sexually, two hyphae come close to each other. Okay, compatible hyphae, they come close to each other and fuse. Okay, and the two cells or the haploid cells come close to each other and form the diploid cells. The very important thing is that actually as soon as the two hyphae come close to each other or the plasmogamy occurs, at that time not required that the two nuclei fuse at the same time. Actually, once the two hyphae or the two cells fuse with one another, two nuclei come close to each other. Okay, this is called as coexistence of the nuclei. Then examples are given here. Dikaryophase. Dikaryophase means two nuclei per cell. That is, I am giving you the name, the coexistence of the new nuclei. Okay, later the nuclei fuse and the cells become diploid. The fungi forms the fruiting bodies in which reduction division occurs. This is the sequence: haploid spores, then the fusion begins, dikaryophase, and the nuclei fuse. This is called the diploid body, and then meiosis occurs, and haploid spores are formed by the meiotic division. The morphology of the mycelium, mode of spore formation, and fruiting bodies. On the basis, kingdoms are divided into various classes. First is phycomycetes. Phycomycetes means found in aquatic habitat and on the decaying wood. This is the habitat where they are present. Very important thing is that. And actually, students, the classification of the fungi is all total on the basis of the structure of the mycelium. Either it is septate or it is aseptate, branched or unbranched, cenocytic, schizogonic. Okay, different types of the terms are given, according to which the classification of the mycelium is given. On the basis of that, the fungi are classified into different classes. First is phycomycetes, and the very important thing is that the asexual reproduction, how does it occur? It occurs by the zoospores when it is motile, by the aplanospore when it is non-motile. Okay, these spores are endogenously means formed inside the sporangium. When the spores are formed outside the body, it is called as exogenous, and when formed within the body, called as endogenous. Next is examples of this class. Okay, next class is the ascomycete. This is also called the sac fungi. Very important thing, all are multicellular, but the exception is yeast. Okay, here the mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual spores are conidia, which are produced exogenously on the special mycelium called conidiophores, the special type of the hyphae over which the conidia are present, known as the conidiophores. Okay, the arranged in different types of fruiting bodies called ascocarps. Example of this ascomycete is neurospora, and it is very important in the field of the genetic work. As an experimental model, the scientists use the neurospora as an experimental model. Many members like morels and buffers are edible and considered delicacy. That mean to say, some are very tasty and used for the food as a food. Okay, next is basidiomycete. Which class belong to it? The examples: mushrooms, bracket fungi, and puffballs. Again, the very important thing is that where they are present. Okay, and then what is the nature of the mycelium? Again, the question comes: the asexual spores. Next, resultant dikaryotic karyogamy, how the spores are formed exogenously or endogenously, which type of spores are present under which type of the structures, called as. Okay, these points are very important. Examples very important. Next is deuteromycetes. It is very important because it is why it is called the imperfect fungi, because only the asexual phase is known and the sexual phase is not known to us. Okay, it is written here, only asexual or the vegetative phase is known and sexual one is not known. That's why it is called as the imperfect fungi. And again, the examples are very important. So please learn all the examples of each class and which type of mycelium is there. Okay, and important characteristic, where they are found, which type of the nutrition, and different type of characters. Okay, next slide is Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. We know that all are eukaryotes, means having advanced or the true nucleus. They have chlorophyll molecule. That's why able to produce their own food. They are autotrophic in nature. Okay, some plants are heterotrophic even. For example, insectivorous plant, students, example is bladderwort and Venus flytrap. Or what about the parasitic plants? The cuscuta. Cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. Plantae include what is the classification of the plantae? It includes the algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperms, and angiosperm. That's why the angiosperms are the most important, and they are the very advanced type of the plant kingdom. Okay, so when we are talking about the algae, when we are talking about the bryophytes, they are very simple organization. What body, not divided into root, stem and leaves. Primitive type. Life cycle, it has the two important distinct phases, students. One is the diploid sporophytic phase, and the second is what? The second is the haploid gametophytic phase, and both the phase are repeated one after the other, and this condition is called as the alternation of generation. For example, in the lifespan of the plants, they have the diploid sporophytic generation, then it is followed up by the haploid gametophytic generation. This is called as alternation of generation. Next is Animalia. They directly, actually they may be herbivores or they may be carnivores. We know that when they are directly dependent on the plants for their food, they are called as herbivores, and when they receive the food from the other class or the other members of the system, then it is called as carnivores. Okay, and the stored food material in the body of an animal is the glycogen, and in case of the plant it is starch. Okay, which type of nutrition they perform? They perform the holozoic, that is the ingestion of the food. They follow definite pattern growth pattern, and grow into adults with a shape and size. Higher forms show elaborate sensory. We know that the higher animals having the very well developed neuromotor mechanisms with them. They have the neuromotor mechanisms. Most of them are capable of locomotion. We know that the animals can locomote and move from one place to other. This is called as the locomotion. What about the sexual reproduction? It is by the copulation. Copulation means the fusion of the male and female gamete, formation of the zygote followed up by the embryological development. Okay, embryogenesis, that is. Next is viruses, viroids and lichens. Come to the very important topic. Again the question comes from this heading. Viruses, what are? Most important thing is that viruses are obligate parasites. They are connecting link between the living and non-living organism. When the host is absent outside the living body, they act as an inert crystalline body, and once they get the host body, they take over the charge of the machinery of the host, and now the host machinery start making the proteins and the genetic material for the spread of the viruses. Okay, the first point what it says that they are not truly living. Very important thing. Okay, they are not living, inert crystalline structure present outside the living cell. They when they affect the when they infect a living body, then they behave like then they behave as a living organism and take over the charge of the machinery of the host. Okay, now the host machinery is hijacked by the virus, and now it works for the virus only. Okay, these are the different contributions of the different scientists. Please go through it. Very important. But the important thing in this point is contagium vivum fluidum. What is it? Actually, contagium vivum fluidum means when the infected leaves of the tobacco plant are crushed and the extract is extracted from it, and it is spread to the non-healthy plants, from the infected to the non-healthy. Then the infection spread from the non-healthy to the healthy ones. This is known as contagium vivum fluidum. Okay, next is they are obligate parasites. In addition to protein, viruses, students, very important structure about the viruses. They have the protein coat outside, and inside it they have the genetic material, either in the form of the DNA or in the form of the RNA. What is DNA? DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA means ribonucleic acid. Okay, next slide. They are nucleoprotein. Genetic material is infectious. Very important thing is that when the viruses infect any living organism, protein coat never goes inside the body. Only the infectious agent, that is the genetic material, goes inside the body and they cause infection. Okay. Next is they have the single stranded or the double stranded RNA or DNA. Bacteria, actually students, they are some set of the viruses which infect the bacteria. They are called as the bacteriophages. Very, very important. What are bacteriophages? And the protein code is called as the capsid, and each unit is known as capsomere, and the nucleic acid, that is the genetic material. Okay, we know that the capsomeres, students, they are arranged in which pattern? They are arranged in the helical or the polyhedral geometrical pattern, and the different kinds of the diseases are mentioned here, so please go through it. Okay, it's very important. Next Next slide. The viroids, related to the viroids. What are viroids, students? Viroids, who gave the term or who discovered the viroids? Very important, Theo Jenner in 1971. They are smaller than the viruses. Examples is now which type of disease caused by the viroids, and they may have which type of the genetic material. Okay, they don't have lact means absent. Okay, they don't have the protein coat with them, but the viruses having the protein coat. This is a basic difference between them. And the low molecular weight, the RNA of the viroid have the low molecular weight with them. So in the question, in the examination, it comes like that. Write important differences between the viruses and viroids. Okay. Again, I am giving you one instruction. If the 2 marks question comes in your examination for the differentiation between any two things, then you're supposed to write the 4 points, because half marks for each point. Okay. Next heading is the lichens. They are the symbiotic association, students. Symbiotic means, beta, sim means साथ में, biotic means living. When two living organisms stay together with each other, then it is called as symbiotic relationship. In case of the lichens, the algae and fungi are staying together. Algae, fungi stay together. Okay. So the algal component called as the phycobiont, and the fungal component called as the mycobiont. For how they help each other, actually algae prepares the food because it is green in color. They are having the algae having the chlorophyll molecule, and in turn the fungi, what it does, it do absorption of the mineral nutrients. Okay, and make it available to the algae. Next point, so close in the association, one saw, actually very important thing is that, students, when you see the lichens, you are unable to distinguish between it is made up of the two type of the combination of the two animals, or the combination of the two living biotic factors. Okay, it is very difficult to distinguish between the fungus and algae within it. Okay, very important thing is that what are lichens? They are the good pollution indicators. They do not grow in which type of area? They do not grow in sulfur indicator, not grow in the pollution rich area. Therefore, they are called as sulfur indicator. Okay, students, actually with the help of this lecture or with the help of this video, I would like to make you recall all the previous things and all the important factors related to chapter 2. Okay, thank you so much, class.